to go. Can zombie infestate? Well, Crater Hoof doesn't give your other things haste, but I guess if you zombie infestation onto, maybe? I don't actually know the answer to that question. I think this hand is fine. This is in the range of keepable. Double Woodfalls may be a little awkward, but I've got a Brutality if they're a quicker deck, and I've got Lingering Souls if we need to grind a little bit. Fetch a Godless on one here, right? Because I never need double red in this deck, right? Like I need single red, but I never need double red. Yeah. We're actually a black-white deck at our core. Splash some red. I wonder if the volume of Blackcleave Cliffs that we have in our deck is reasonable. Yeah, we've played Banned Spirits a couple times in the past. There should definitely be a video or two up on the YouTube channel. There's Ghost Dad. I think I'm just gonna Brutality with two modes here. This either means burn or this likely means burn or Valakut Titan. Either of those decks I'm pretty happy to just Brutality escalate here onto, I think. If it's Valakut Titan, we just want to get this in the bin. Alright, so it's Jund. Good to know. Scavenging Ooze is really annoying. That's pretty punishing for... That's pretty punishing for discarding my card there and using the Brutality, because my Brutality could have killed a Scavenging Ooze. That was there was a small chance of them being that, so... Morning, Nivik. Although I guess they would have hit this, and then we'd have gotten got. They took my Lingering Soul, sure. Just hoping for a footsteps there. But, alas. Yep, you're not wrong, Drax. We're gonna find out what the kids are up to. So I'm assuming this is going to be Skoos, Eat My Woodfall. Skoos is just such a great magic card. I would like to Dreadbore you, please. So trying to look busy. What's going on? Wait, did you? That's a footsteps. Okay, so, hey, Sipix, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fatal Push. Inquisition. I guess I know they have an Abrupt Decay in their hand, right? So I guess I Inquisition here. They have Abrupt Decay Swamp. Do I want to encourage them to Abrupt Decay a Spirit token here? I'm not sure. Morning, Captain Jack. We do have some new bit badges. They're not all done yet, but a lot of them are done. I need to figure out how I get them to appear on Streamlabs though. So they're appearing in the regular Twitch chat, but they're not appearing in the on-screen Twitch chat. Abrupt Decay just really doesn't have a text box against us, so I'm just gonna wait here because there's a non-zero chance to like hit enough stuff off of Bob here that they have something in their hand that we get to take with this Inquisition. Yep. That's an Obzedat in our discard pile. So we have both of those cards in our deck. Honestly, So, like, I could Woodfall Primus them next turn with the Footsteps, but they're at 9. It might be better to just... It might be better to just Obzedat them. They probably have a very hard time killing that. So they have Swamp, Decay, Liliana in their hand right now, so I assume this is going to be a Liliana. Wonder if they're going to Edict themselves or us. After they figure out how to tap their lands, that is. Once they figure out how their Magic Godlide works. I assume they're going to Edict us off a token here. So we draw another Woodfall Primus. So we're definitely doing this. Taking their Abrupt Decay. They have Swamp that we know about. Do I care about this card? I feel like I don't, especially with this Woodfall Primus draw. And now the question is, do I want to double Stone Rain them, leave behind a 5/5, or do I want to get Obzedat into play and start blinking in and blinking out? Obzedat. I attack them to 8. And then Obzedat puts them to 6, and then he puts them to 4 next turn. So Bob kills them very quickly. Yeah, I think it's just Footsteps my Obzedat here. And just like with the Goryo's Vengeance, so this, unfortunately, Footsteps doesn't give haste, so this guy doesn't get to attack and kill them super fast, but it's still pretty quick here. Bob does a couple points of damage. They're going to be up a creek without a pedal. Morning, little set. I don't have the 100K crown done yet, Navik. I had to wait on my graphics guy gave me mock-ups of a couple of them. Correct. There were 0 copies of Obzedat in the last one that we played. Zero copies. So I'm gonna bring in Anguished Unmaking and Engineered Explosives because they're anti-graveyard stuff. I think Inquisition's pretty medium here. How do we feel about Elesh Norn? I feel like Elesh Norn's kind of medium too. What do we think of this boarding? Okay, I like this. I think I like this. It depends on the person. Sometimes these gen decks have Grafdigger's Cage. This is boarding, Burgle. This is game 2. I'm boarding against Jund currently. You think I want to board like this against Jund? I think Elesh Norn's kind of mediocre. Although I guess Elesh only dies to Terminate and Liliana, so maybe Elesh is fine. We did win game 1. Seven's probably pretty castable in this matchup too. I don't know if I want to cut though. I kind of like the idea of Woodfall Primus. I think Primus is good. I think he's easily just like our best Footsteps targets early most of the time. I think I'd rather have. I think I like these 8 rather than Elesh Norns. I watch YouTube's want to throw some support and also emotes. Well, thanks CPX. I appreciate it. Glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Thanks for dropping by this morning. The upside to Elesh is that she's castable, whereas Woodfall Primus is not. Woodfall Primus has to be cheated into play. Yep, that seems very good. I'm sure they're going to pick it apart here momentarily, but for now it is very good. They took Anguished Unmaking, so that says to me that they probably have... I'm gonna get Grafdigger's Cage next turn and be really sad. I feel like Unmaking means I'm about to get caged, yeah. Well... That feels bad. I'll take 1 or 2 draws at Engineered Explosives here, but we'll probably be done pretty quickly. Yeah, I discovered we can do custom badges for people that have cheered on the channel, so we're updating a bunch of those. I mean, wear tier for game 3. You think I think bringing in wear tear is wrong. I think bringing in wear tear is wrong. I think they have at most like 2 Grafdigger's Cages, and boarding in wear tear for cage is a little narrow. I think I'd rather just like play Inquisition. Maybe because I have Faithless Lootings, wear tear is fine. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Yeah, maybe boarding with Faithless Looting in your deck is a little bit different. Yeah, I think I agree with your assessment that they just like can't beat us if we have access to our graveyard. So let's just like make sure we have access to our graveyard. Yeah, I like that plan. I could also see just like boarding in Inquisition. Zachary Baronet, if you're watching, you should reread my tweet. The tweet you responded to. You misread it. Sounds pretty good. Part of me wants to wait here on the Faithless Looting, just like go Godless Shrine tapped, or just like fetch land pass. The Engineered Explosives is great because it's like anti-graveyard 8 that like also kills Tarmogoyfs and shit. I think I'm just gonna pass here. There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to get a link to a deck list. Al Serena, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. I appreciate the support. I mean, Lingering Souls isn't really going to win the game as the thing on its own, especially not just 2 of them. And I'd kind of rather, like, potentially make 4 tokens with this rather than 2. For people, can we just, like, back off the Stoneforge talk in chat? Like, it's a horse that's beaten to death. If you want to read my thoughts on Modern Ban List, check out my article. Let's just, like, keep the chat medium on topic today. It's basically a meme that's been beaten into the ground at this point. Yeah, WotC's bad at their job. They're bad at managing the ban list. Haha, it's a bad joke at this point. I'm gonna ditch Plains and a Souls at this point. Sure. No, I don't think the Wild and Cuddle decks are very good. I think they're a little bit too honest. I think, especially with like humans and Hollow One being the better decks in the format, the burn decks have moved away from creatures for a reason. They want to their damage sources to be less reliant on having. They want their damage to be less reliant on creatures connecting because the boards are really gummed up with the good decks right now. That's pretty brutal. So like reanimating souls in the face of this seems kind of like an exercise in futility. Asked us to move off of that topic. Please listen in the future. I think I'm just supposed to do this. I could also just like Faithless Looting and hold the card in my hand for now. I think I'm just supposed to Faithless Looting. Smack the last hope here. Depending on what we draw, we'll probably Cathartic next turn. I suppose I could also like double Linger. Depending on what we draw to here. It depends on what they do as well. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess we're bidding the reunion at this point, so with the Leyline going, we're never going to have cards to fire it off. APM stands for actions per minute, is what that refers to. It's a StarCraft term. What's going on, JMP? Yeah, it was kind of spur of the moment. I think I have to miss some of Friday, so I just had to fire up last night. Anything about Chandra, Blade, and Mono Red Prison? Her plus ability is good for dealing with walkers. She's 6 mana, right? I feel like if I wanted a 6 mana Chandra in the prison deck, I'd play Flamecaller. No, I think Mono Red Sneak Attack's pretty rancid. It's really bad against the Delver decks, like like all the other combo decks. The Delver decks, like people realizing that Grixis Delver is the deck that you want to play is the reason I put that deck down. Alright, that's gonna be all she wrote. We're gonna need to take our Unburial Rites away, which is our like only route to get back in this game at this point. Hey, Gorbatron, thanks for the 5-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think I messed up the second game by not bringing in Wear Tear. I think with Faithless Looting and Cathartic Reunion and Collective Brutality, it's worth it to just bring in a potentially narrow card like that to hedge them having their thing. I'm just gonna time out things that appear to be obvious trolls. Yeah, seems good. Your Mardu Pyromancer impersonation. Yeah, I think all the pretty much all of the combo decks in Legacy right now are just very, very poorly positioned against the two best decks, which are 4-color control and what's that other one? 4-color control and Delve Redo. I don't think that deck is very good either. I actually think Mono Red Sneak Attack is better than straight Sneak and Show for what it's worth. I think having access to Blood Moon and Chalice and just like being able to cast some of your threats is very good. I think both of those decks are very poorly positioned, but I think one is like less poorly positioned than the other. Maybe I'm supposed to take Reflector Mage there because it's kind of good against our Reanimate stuff. Yeah, we've played some of the Beaumont Red decks on stream before. I just don't really enjoy the Deathrite Shaman Mirrors JMP. So like, I'm sure if we like play the 4-color deck and our opponents are like all playing terrible Legacy decks, like we'll have a fine time. But like, the Deathrite Shaman Mirrors are kind of miserable. So I don't understand the appeal of playing Sultai Delver. With Deathrite Shaman in your deck, you should just splash for Lightning Bolt and the couple of good red cards that you want. Seems really silly to not just like play the good cards in your deck. Part of me wants to just flash back Faithless Looting here. Is that crazy? I guess I could flash back the... Actually, I'm going to flash back the Lingering Souls to encourage them to Reflector Mage me, I think. Yeah, Leovold and True Nemesis, like the Commander products have kind of like not been great for Legacy as far as gameplay goes. Yeah, I should leave this to their end of turn. I think trying to predict what Wizards of the Coast does with any of their ban lists is an exercise in futility. They're not consistent on how they apply their ban list, and they kind of just like do things at random in timing windows that make very little sense from an outside perspective. But it could be that the way they do things makes a lot of sense if you have access to the information that they have, but the way that they hide all of the data surrounding their game makes all of their actions from the outside appear to be fairly random and inconsistent. I don't even think that's strictly true, JMP. Like, whenever they actually finally ban something, it's like they have a bunch of, yeah, this Kite Sail Freebooter is really good because they have another Meddling Mage in their hand. Yeah, this is one of the Disruptive Humans draws, which is actually going to be pretty good against what we have going on here. Freebooter, like the subtle power on Freebooter is very high. Like it's really easy to like assume the humans deck is like easy and just all powerful cards when you see like their nut draws involving like Thalia's Lieutenant, but like these draws are like really impressive in my mind, where they like just get to nickel and dime you apart. Stand up and turn this light on. Alright, well now we just Cathartic Reunion, right? Pretty good chance of drawing another land here. Alright, and this one named Collective Brutality. So can't cast that. The reason why I'm not casting this is because they named Collective Brutality. Any reason to not cast Looting there? I'm not really looking for anything in particular. I guess Elesh Norn could be good. I guess Elesh Norn could be good. So I'm gonna double block the mage on Brutality here because I want them to Reflector Mage me before I floop this Woodfall Primus into play. So I know they have Reflector Mage as one of their 2 cards. So I know this is coming, but I want to be able to keep my 5/5 into play ideally. No, I kind of like the idea that, like, you have Unburial Rites as a way to... I kind of like that we have Unburial Rites as a way to, like, get things into play and have more value. I think Unburial Rites makes this a lot better against control decks, potentially. So, we'll kill their Vial, and we'll kill an Unclaimed Territory. We'll have a 5/5 left over. We're dying kind of quickly here. That's all he does, Nivek. He creates money by generating clicks by shitting on people in the community. Is that Thalia's lieutenant? So we're dead? Yep. I had a dealer straights option close to the top of the queue. I don't have any events coming up, so I don't really have anything that I'm working on. And this deck seemed sweet yesterday, and Burgle and I were talking about changes we could make. So I felt like making some changes and playing this again. Elesh Norn, obviously great here. Woodfall Primus is a little bit medium for the reasons you just saw. Just like not stellar at killing their lands because we don't care about their lands. We want to kill their board. I mean, it really wasn't that loose. My opponent wanted to hit Thalia's lieutenant to kill us, and they still had 2 mana sources left over. So like digging for the card that kills us seemed like a fine play. Do I bin Cathartic Reunion here just because it's slow? It's either Cathartic or Inquisition. Maybe it's a mix of the two. Maybe it's a mix of the two. I think Cathartic's fine. It's just like an extra discard rather than an extra way to see more cards. We got you, Chief. We got you. It's very possible I should have boarded out Cathartic Reunion against the deck that, like the Jund deck. The Footloose pun wasn't even mine, just for reference. That was the person that submitted the deck originally. This hand needs to draw some lands, but double Inquisition on the play is pretty appealing. Yeah, also that. Footloose and Grease are classics. They're not terrible. You get out of here. Yeah. So, in my experience, when we built the deck from after yesterday, Woodfall Primus is the better card, mainly because you get the 5/5 left behind. Like, you need to actually kill your opponent. Modern is a format that's not about, it's not about disrupting your opponent. Modern is a format where you're going to lose the game if you don't actually end it. So, having the ability to actually end the game is very, very valuable. Man, Goody, thanks for the 4-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Start with this. Let's see what we get. That's pretty good. And by pretty good, I mean I'd like lands. I guess I need a white source here at some point, too. I really didn't want to fetch shock there, though. So they have a bunch of lands. One of them is a Horizon Canopy, so that's going to cycle. Unclaimed territory. I assume we're going to see Big Thalia come down here. Lands, please. Lands, please. Well, I mean... Lightning Axe and Cathartic Reunion do different things. Cathartic Reunion allows us to see more of our deck to add consistency to our deck. Lightning Axe is interaction. So again, when you're making changes to a deck, you usually want cards to fit into certain slots unless you think we don't have enough interaction. And the question is, if we don't have enough interaction, is like, if Cathartic Reunion is bad because we generally don't have enough cards in our hand, Lightning Axe is going to be very bad for similar reasons. I mean, that's like most of Magic, Burgle. Like, it's funny, like the biggest thing after playing some Hearthstone casually coming from Magic is just like the volume of games where you just like don't really get to make, you like just died because you didn't get to do anything in Magic is so high. And like even in this deck, right? Like we added some lands, we have Faithless Looting to add some consistency, but still sometimes it's just gonna happen. And that's just how it is. That's how the game is by design. Get that sweet resource variance. Is there anything that's more of a Hogland classic than hoping to draw a third land, draw an 8-drop instead? That's just like the true Hogland way. I mean, resources in Magic by and large are a good thing. Resources allow you to exercise your experience as a deck builder. They allow you to make important decisions and play powerful things. But again, just like pretending that resource variance doesn't exist is silly. Because it does, but it's there intentionally. It's a feature, it's not a bug. And I can see Thalia's lieutenant here. Oh, just Thalia. Probably still dead to that. We'll take a draw step towards a Faithless Looting, I guess, but I assume we're just too slow at this point. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Technically not dead, but like I don't have any draws that do anything. Alright, well. I should have known that this was too sweet to be good. I should have known, chat. I should have let it live in the land where it felt sweet and awesome, and we went 3-2. Now we've run it back. And I've torn the wonder off the top. I think when Richard Garfield originally designed Magic, he didn't really know what he was doing. Like, he's obviously a very talented game designer, but like, he was exploring new territory. And a lot of the time, when you are exploring something or doing something new for the first time, you very rarely get it right on the first time, even if you're incredibly smart like Richard Garfield is. So like, we still use this. I mean, honestly, like, you know, Wizards and the current R&D, like, they've innovated on the resource system, like with the various types of lands and fixing and cantrips and stuff like that. So like, we've definitely, like, the way the resources work today are different than the way the resources were originally designed. But I think you know, I'm gonna be interested to see what the resource system and Artifact looks like with Richard Garfield designing that. We did in fact run hotter or less bad yesterday with the deck than we did today. Ran much better with the other configuration. Today we've had a good deal of bricking off and dying, which is funny too, because like Burgle said, we actually added 2 lands from the build we played yesterday. So like bricking off and dying after you added 2 lands is just like the best. Yeah, good lord, the Tin Depths run last night was just so rancid. It was really bad when we ran closer to medium. Alright, well we get to Footsteps of Woodfall Primus next turn. Alright, well this is... This is like what we're looking to do, right? Opponent's done a whole lot of nothing. We're gonna Footsteps to the Goryo them and kill 2 of their lands. And have a 5/5 here. Like, what spells could black-red possibly have? Like, if they kill my thing here, I don't care, right? Especially with another Footsteps draw. I kind of want to hold Brutality to, like, kill a threat if they stick it. But I guess I could just kill a threat with Ashen Rider. Main deck Surgical. Alright, this is the Ponza draw that made me want to play this deck again yesterday. That's true. It would let us know what they're playing before they concede here, because it feels like there's a concede coming up, right? Alright, I'm actually going to escalate this, binning this other Woodfall Primus here. This might be a concession. Concession Brutality, because they're too far behind. Nice, Aaron. Yeah, I genuinely don't think that Black-Green Rock deck is that bad against Strahd. I think between Field of Ruin and your Trackers and your Tarmogoyfs and your... What's it called? I think... and your Damping Spheres and Fulminators out of the board, I think you actually have a pretty reasonable matchup there. I'm supposed to board like their Mardu Pyromancer, right? I'm supposed to board like their Pyromancer. What do we think? What do we think? I'm going to cut these Reunions because there's a good chance they're a grindy deck, and Reunion's a little bit medium if we don't have resources in our hand. I think I want to at the very least like bring in Wear Tears and Unmaking. Maybe I don't want to go deep enough to board in Leyline. I'm going to do this, just like anti-graveyard hate cards. Because I don't want to be cold in case they open on a Leyline. No, I think 11 is fine. Obzedat's not truly a reanimate target. He's like a 5-mana card too. And like, if they're playing something fair, Elesh, Norn, and Ashen Rider just like being cards that we cast is very reasonable. This isn't Legacy Reanimator where like you can't cast your cards. So I think having like, remember all of these, we only have 4 uncastables in our deck. So like having seven cards that we can like reasonably tap lands and put into play is fine, I think. Ashen Rider is also like, someone's commenting on Ashen Rider wouldn't be good against the token strategy. We have a lot of cards here that are reasonable against the token strategy, and like Ashen Rider is another way that we can like eventually take a Leyline of the Void off the table. It's slow, but it happens. I mean, there's literally an EE in my deck right now, so that's what that's doing. This hand seems fine. If they are a Mardu Pyromancer, we'll be able to escalate Brutality on 2 to kill their Pyro and strip their hand. I think they're Mardu Pyromancer. Maybe Breach does work with Woodfall Primus nicely. No, I don't attend Grand Prix usually. What was the last Grand Prix I went to? I think I went to a Grand Prix in Indianapolis in 2016. Maybe it was 2017, early 2017. We didn't know what our opponent was playing, Amity, so I didn't board in Leyline. Our opponent just played like red black colored lands and then died. So I was definitely at Grand Prix Charlotte with the pairing fiasco, but Indy was after that, I believe. Yeah, but Burgle, I felt like they could maybe be a mid-ranger control deck that wasn't relying on their graveyard, because they literally just didn't do anything for 3 turns. Like, when we killed their lands on turn 3, they literally hadn't cast a spell. And, like, Grishelbrand, Pyro, Hollowed One, like, all those decks usually cast something in the first 3 turns. So, like, I agree. If we would have had some indication that, like, makes it likely that they're doing a particular thing, I definitely would have hedged. But, like, I feel like it's not unreasonable to be like, hey, maybe they're doing something weird. I mean, yeah, now that they've cast a bunch of spells, like, these are all spells that are in Mardu Pyromancer. Yeah, Moto's running a little slow this morning. Maybe it needs a re-kick already. We'll try after this match. But yeah, my Moto's definitely running a little frame by frame. Usually it's not bad first thing in the morning. We've only been going for 45 minutes. They just discarded a Hero's Downfall and a Terminate. They might be some kind of bad control deck. They might be some kind of bad control deck here. I was probably supposed to lead on Faithless Looting here, right? Let's do that now and see what we get. Discard Rider and a land here. Oh, I should have. Fuck, that was wrong. I need a second white to cast this. So the reason why I discarded the Ashen Rider there was because, or the Bloodstained Mire there is because I wasn't paying attention. I was like, I want to cast these and I want to take the least amount of damage from my lands. But I don't have a white. I think they're just like red-black control. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're red-black control. Demigod of Revenge. Yep. Alright. Alright. Magic's a tough game, chat. Never forget, Magic is a skill game. Better player always wins. Extremely low variance. Magic's always low variance when I win, and it's high variance when I lose. For those that are new here. You all know people that are actually, like, if you've all played Magic, if you've played Magic long enough, we've all run into people like that, right? Like, when they win, it's because they're good at the game, and when they lose, it's because they're incredibly unlucky. Seven mana. What on God's green earth are you casting that requires please be 2 spells? Woo! Whew! Man, I'm glad I fetched basic planes here, huh? I'm glad I fetched basic planes. What else could it be? Ooh. Ooh. Found a piece of candy. I guess I'm supposed to attack first, right? And now I just get to smash them with everything. I don't want to loot because I think it's pretty obvious they're holding up a removal spell here. Yeah. I think I just want to Ashen Rider them here. Do I Ashen Rider or do I Ghost Dad again? I think I just Ashen Rider, right? I get to exile 2 things. No, I think I just want to get rid of their Chandra, get rid of a swamp. I don't really give a shit about this Blood Moon at this point. They're dead in 2 to these spirits. They're dead next turn if we rip a land. Yeah, riding both swamps is interesting. I could definitely see that being the line too, just like ignore the Chandra. Just like use their Blood Moon to fuck them. I'm just going to be conservative in the face of a Terminate again. I think we're more than far enough ahead that I should just be conservative in the face of Terminate. I'm just gonna take their swamp, take their Bedlam Reveler. Come on, Chad, I have the chance to Stone Rain. What the fuck? Rude. 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 I guess this is post-board. Wait. Did they click the wrong mode? No, they exiled. Oh, this just popped up my exile zone. I was like, why is it still targeting? And they picked the right one. I was like, oh, what's going on? We did get kind of punished for not taking both swamps there, huh? Did the client lag fix itself? Maybe it was server-side lag and not actually client lag. That would make more sense. Land. Land! Land! Ding! Ding! It's still a little laggy. We'll give it a re-kick here just in case. Mama's here! Come to me, children. Come to me. Enter Elesh. Loving embrace, my children. Alright, we're on the scoreboard, chat. We're on the scoreboard. Welcome. Well, I'm restarting Magic Online. I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I stream Magic full-time, 30+ hours a week. If you enjoy my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the folks that keep me employed. They are the reason that I am here full-time like I do. You can also support myself by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com would love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hogan PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buy and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mousepads, binders, and bags there. And of course, myself and all of our wonderful mods would like to welcome everyone to Hooglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about receiving your complimentary timeout. Look at that. Look at that. That's exactly how long it took Magic Online to restart. We'll see if that's better. Morning extras. Dark Magi with the 10-month resubscription. Thank you very much, Dark Magi, and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a long time. Almost a year. It's getting kind of serious. Getting kind of serious. What's going on, Justin? Yeah, sounds fine. I think I actually have an open emote slot. I could get a picture of Kool-Aid for like the next until after the 19th. 18th, whatever day it is. Spell Pierce my Faithless Looting. That's rude, opponent. That's rude. That's rude. When I tried to install Arena on my Linux partition, the actual installer didn't work via Wine. Yeah, probably fish. Oh no, Tom, friendly fire, somebody save Tom, somebody save Tom. I need a mod to save Tom. Oh no, you got him again. You got him again. Oh no. Oh no! Alright. What am I doing? It's just a slaughter in here. Nobody is safe. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. Alright, so am I like killing this and escalating? I think so. I just want to like get a pooper in my bin, I think. In case I draw footsteps next turn. The real question is, I think I just drain them. I guess I kind of want to bin multiple things here, so I just like go for the full smorgasbord just in case they have another Spell Pierce. I'm just gonna go for the full pitches here. It doesn't surprise me that I missed there. He's dead. He's dead. Stop hitting him. Footsteps. All right. Play that one. Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no! I've made a terrible mistake, chat. I've made a terrible mistake. This land is red and black. Why doesn't it make my Dragonskull Summit come into play untapped? We just wanna make them feel more secure than they actually are. Trying to make them feel more secure than they actually are. Dreadbore, huh? I think I'm supposed to kill this. Yeah, we could have flashbacked plus Dreadbore. Yep. We could have also traded the front half of the souls for the Silver Girl Adept. Woof. Alright, even Footsteps might not be enough at this point, but Footsteps would be our best draw. We get to kill both their lords. I mean, I can cast Papa Smurf here, but I don't think that's really gonna accomplish much. We are very dead. We are very dead. What's going on, Captain Command? Alright, extra Elesh, some EEs, some Damnations. Yeah, we don't have Goryo's Vengeance because it doesn't reanimate any of these. Doesn't. No, Elesh is technically legendary. Elesh is technically legendary. Going to board out Cathartic Reunion against counterspells. Probably trim some Primus and an Inquisition and call it a day. I think I like that. To be fair, most of Twitch chat thinks Goryo's Vengeance can put any card into play. In my experience. I think Souls is fine. You can like chump blocks and trades and stuff. So we have parts B and C, but we don't have part A to get any of our parts into the bin. So I think I have to mulligan this. This seems fine. It's just like Mardu Pyromancer, right? Yeah, it seems good. I get to go ahead and looting and then ditch Souls and Elesh here. Yeah, this configuration is definitely base black-white at this point. Yeah, I guess the main card we cut was just like Lightning Axe, right? That's true. Timid Spirit Guy is technically not a red card. Morning, so sauce. All right, I'm feeling kind of medium here. The relic, I'm being reminded a lot of why I stopped playing the Esper Goryo's deck that we played for a little while on stream here. Just like, there's so much graveyard hate in the format for like the really busted things that like it feels really bad playing a deck like this and just like losing to stuff like this, which is gonna happen. Poor little spirit friends. And not play a land. Well, I was on the play, so I'd have to not play a land turn 1 and turn 2, which is pretty terrible. If we were on the draw, maybe, but like on the play, you can't do that. Yeah, it looks like they're missing their 3rd land drop. Does that make sense? Yep. I think I just EE for 2 next turn, just like take my hit here. Because I'd rather have the Unburial Rites to be able to reanimate something if they pop the relic. I was hoping that putting the 2 Faithless Lootings in my bin was going to encourage them to pop the relic. And if they didn't pop the relic, then I was going to have Faithless Lootings in my bin to give me a chance to discard the Unburial Rites the following turn. I'll probably use my health total as a resource next turn and take 5 and then crack this at the end step. The reason why it's valuable to crack this at the end step as opposed to doing it inside of combat to save myself the points of health is it discourages my opponent from playing another 2-drop. Now, if they hit their 3rd land, so if they play a 3-drop here, obviously I'm going to crack the Engineered Explosives inside of combat. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take 5 here, because this way they can't play another 2-drop out this turn, and their deck is primarily 2-drops. If they have a 3-drop to play post-combat, I feel a little bit bad about this decision, but I think the average makeup of most Merfolk decks means that waiting on the Engineered Explosives is fine here. Yeah, so basically, by taking a hit for 5 here, I get to time walk them on the play using their resources. I'm gonna hold a land for now, I think. I want to use it to escalate a brutality down the line if we need to gain a little bit of health. Oh, they have yeah, that makes our plan a little bit worse because they still have to use their mana this turn cycle. At this point, my health total is low enough that I think I need to be kind of conservative. I'm going to push this, and we'll brutality this next turn. We are all dressed up with nowhere to go, chat. All dressed up with nowhere to go. We're going to play the good Mardu deck in a league after this one. Oh. I mean, that's castable on one more land. I like how 2 turns ago, when we had removal, the opponent chose not to try and eat my spirit, and this turn, when we don't have removal, they chose to eat the spirit. It's interesting. Let's go with interesting. We're gonna call it We're gonna call it interesting. No, I did not have the E in play. They don't double lord here, we could have a chance. If they double lord, we'll be dead. I guess I have 2 damnations, so we'll take a draw step. No, I've already pulled out a deck for Jeskai Teferi Gorbatron. I pulled one of the... There were a couple of Jeskai Teferi decks that top 8'd that 7-1, the Invitational. Elesh Norn's probably not good enough here. Obzedat is also not good enough. I go up to 5. I block here. I take 6 and I die. Yeah. All right. Well, and that was a failed experiment. I think the core of what this deck is doing is neat, and I'm glad we took the time to run it back. But I think, like I said, my big takeaway there is my same kind of takeaway that I had when I played the Esper Goryo's deck, and I eventually put that down, is that there's just so much incidental graveyard hate in Modern that it's, while your plan game 1 is like kind of sweet and powerful, it's not powerful enough overall to be worth having to play through the graveyard hate that people are going to bring in post board. So like the amount of percentage points you lose from people having good graveyard hate is not made up for the power level of your deck. Psycho Smurf with the 6-month tier 3 resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Just trying to get my bin icon to update. Let's go down in our next. I have sweet new